What's going on, guys? This is the MMA Complex. My name is Josh.
And I'm James.
It is February 19th, 2019. Brand new episode. Took last weekend off. Just figuring out schedules. Had to get into the swing of things, get situated again. Took a little break. Missed a couple of good fights. Damn good fights to break down. But we're breaking the aftermath down right now. You had Bellator 216 over the weekend. You had Bellator 215 over the weekend. You had ONE FC having a fight. You had Invicta. And you had UFC ESPN 1. And not the last ESPN event of UFC was ESPN Plus, the first one.
Yeah.
This one's ESPN 1, featuring Ngannou versus Velasquez. Jam-packed weekend full of fights. All that stuff. We'll break them down right now. But first, how are you doing? What's going on?
Good. Yeah, and this weekend was crazy. You had the NBA All-Star was this weekend. You had the fights, ESPN, Bellator, and you had the WWE Elimination Chamber on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. So, yeah, a lot of stuff. It's been really cold. I can't remember. It's been years since it's been all February was pretty much rain. Most of January was rain. It's getting down
freezing. It's freezing today.
It's getting down to I think this morning when I after work it was 38 degrees. I was like, oh my god! And I wear a hoodie and a jacket on top of that, and I'm so cold.
Yep. I left the house this morning, and then I was I'm actually went back to school for a little bit, taking classes, graphic design classes, just to get on brush up on that stuff and get to know those programs in deep. But I was in class, and I was gonna stay for and to work on some stuff, and I was like, fuck that, man. It was just way too cold. It was even cold in class. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
I had some of the programs I was able to get the programs at home, and I'm like, I'm just going to go home.
It's freezing.
Go in my warm, nice little bed.
Freezing.
Yeah, it was freezing. It's
been so cold.
It has. I thought I was going to get sick at the end of the day because I was just going in and out of hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold all day, and I felt like
I can't remember the last time it was this cold.
Yeah, but luckily, I was able to catch pretty much most of the fights. I caught Friday's night fights. I had to rewatch Saturday night's fights with Bellator. Caught the highlights from Invicta, and then watched ESPN with Ngannou and Velasquez. What do you want to break down first? Let's touch on the Bellator weekend.
I think the Friday night's Bellator. I think the one with Mitrione. That was pretty lackluster, so I'm okay with
we don't have to break it down. But overall, what did you make of the weekend for Bellator?
I think they had good fights on paper. I don't think a lot of fights delivered.
It didn't deliver. Yeah.
Just talk about the main event, Daly and
MVP,
a fight that I was looking forward to. I was really excited.
Well, Mitrione and Kharitonov.
Oh, first, yeah.
It wasn't much of a fight. You got a nut shot in the first 15 seconds, and then that was basically the fight, and they had to call it off. The rest of the card was kind of forgettable. You had what's his name? I don't even know the name of Paige Van Zandt's husband, who made his Bellator debut. Mm-hmm. That was pretty much the highlight of the Friday night.
Win?
He did win.
Okay.
I think submission. And then you had Saturday night fights with Paul Daly and MVP. Which overall the card was not a bad put together card. You had the debut of Valerie Loretta, which is a hot young prospect, and she's very attractive, karate champion, all that. Comes in, just demolishes this other girl, Colby Fletcher, who really didn't have a whole lot for her. And I'm not saying that Valerie Loretta is going to be some, take the division by storm, but she is definitely somebody that can, fight. But Colby Fletcher, I think it was kind of it was a gimme fight for her, I think, in a lot of ways, to showcase their newest female star.
Yeah.
And then Eric Silva, losing to Yaroslav Amosov, and then you had Czech Congo defeating Vitaly Minakov by decision, calling out Bader after that. I think that'll be a good fight for Bader.
Yeah, I think there was only one finish in that whole fight card.
Yeah,
for the main card.
For the main card, right?
Yeah, everything else is decision.
Yeah, that was the opening fight with Valerie Loretta.
Yeah.
That was the main, the only one. Yeah, let me look at. Out of the whole main card, yes. I think the undercard had a couple of
Some
TKOs
finishes.
and submissions, but the main card, that was the only finish. Crow Cop picking up a win versus Roy Nelson. Potentially, I think it was brought up to Coker, Crow Cop versus Fedor in the future. I think it's something they might work on. I kind
I'm
of
not
like that
against
one.
it.
I kind of like that one. Yeah, I'm not against it either. And then in the main event, Michael Page versus Paul Daly. This was something that was anticipated, that people were hyped for, looking forward to. This was a big grudge match that was brewing in Bellator for quite a while and kind of didn't deliver. It was almost like Ngannou versus
Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis. Everybody's expecting fireworks and it really did not deliver, man. So I don't know. Disappointment, lackluster weekend for Bellator. I mean, they came in with good intentions, but I would say, yeah, I would agree with you. Didn't deliver.
Yeah, considering that this feud has been a feud that's been going on for a long time. Both former friends, and then they started talking crap.
Yeah.
The thing that I didn't like is that Daly always talks smack about people who try to wrestle other people, but he did the exact
That's
same
all
thing.
he did. Yeah.
Was wrestle, and he always criticizes those that don't want to fight
Yeah.
and just want to wrestle. But when it came to him, he knew that he was gonna get his ass handed. So he
fights another. Yeah, he fights another talented striker, and
And
what did he do? He didn't want to strike with him.
He just looks like a complete douchebag.
Yeah.
He's very, very, very hateable.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it does not look good for Paul Daly. You talk all this smack, about your matchups and being stuck with people that just want to wrestle you because of your striking and don't want to stand with you, and then you face another talented striker, and what do? You go to the ground, or you attempt to go to the ground.
Yeah, it doesn't make no. I mean, I just like him even more now.
Yeah,
and then he has a balls to say that he got robbed.
Yeah, and that the whole thing was kind of set up by Bellator.
By Bellator, like, come on, talk about a sore loser.
MVP picking up a win. I wouldn't say his stock really rose with this win. I thought it was with the lackluster performance by both men, it was almost like something that they both want to put behind them and move on. Michael Page, dealing with stuff outside of the cage, and picking up this win is something that he needed. He seems like he's been in the game for a long time, but it's also the fact that he's also new. It's weird, you know what I mean? Like I think it's time for him to start fighting guys that are like at the top. I think he needs to start fighting those guys because he's been taken care of in his career.
Yeah, he's been catered to
long enough.
Yeah.
I think long enough.
But I think this fight was his biggest test.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think it's, yeah, you're right. I think it's time for him to move on to a top 5.
Yeah, I don't know how he'll do against a guy who's even better of a striker or a grappler. Because if Paul Daly could take you down,
yeah, that's the thing. Like,
what's a John Fitch gonna do?
Like, yeah, I know. And then people are like praising his striking ability and or saying that he can compete in the UFC. Yeah, hell no. You know what Tyron really would do to him?
Yeah, I mean, and you're gonna have, and you go to any division and any promotion, at least in the US, you got Bellator or UFC. The top 5 guys are just gonna be those wrestlers that can strike.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're right. I think even in Bellator, you can't get away with that. I think you're more likely to get away with that in Bellator, but the UFC you definitely can.
Yeah,
do it.
Yeah, and
but I mean, but this is the tournament, so he's gonna face those.
He's gonna face those guys. Yeah, he's gonna face those competition.
And I don't think he's gonna do well with those guys either.
And I think his next matchup is against Douglas Lima, which, I mean, obviously, if Douglas Lima is smart, you know where the holes are, and I mean, even though he's got holes in his wrestling game and all that, I still pick him as as not, I want to say my
dark horse,
my pick to win, but I'd say he's definitely a dark horse.
Yeah,
and I think he can. I think I like Douglas Lima. He's one of the fighters I really like to watch, but he also shows up and sometimes doesn't show up.
Yeah.
So,
but I think too that although MVP won and he moved on to the next round, I think he exposed himself to a lot of these fighters, and now, there's a blueprint out there how to beat MVP, and you just wrestle your ass.
If Douglas Lima goes into that fight with the mixed martial artist mentality and doesn't go in like trying to strike with him.
And that's the thing with Lima. He stays there in the pocket and he wants to brawl.
He stays there for too long sometimes, and he might just be stagnant in his attacks. And it's like,
look at that fight with McDonald.
Yeah, you got to go in there and just like, no, you can beat this guy. Like if you take it to him, leg kicks, striking, mix it up with the takedown attempts, pull guard if you need to do whatever you mix it up, make him confused. That's why I think to beat him. But I wouldn't be surprised if MVP wins that fight because he's so his movement is so relaxed.
I'm more excited for this tournament than I am the heavyweight Grand Prix. I think it's more competitive.
It's more competitive. Yeah, it's more competitive.
And it's also legit.
Yeah. And we like not taking away from Bader, but we kind of, we knew Bader was the more complete fighter, the younger fighter, the stronger fighter, and he's already a big 205er.
No, you're right. I think with the heavyweight Grand Prix, it was a young guy that's still in his prime versus guys who are out of their prime.
Mm-hmm. So not taking away from him, but I mean that's the truth. If you look at the landscape, we knew that Bader was probably most likely to take the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's get to the ESPN UFC's ESPN debut. This is on big ESPN. Highly rated event, one of the highest UFC events on cable. A big night for ESPN, a big night for UFC. Undercard was pretty good. Aljamain Sterling picking up a win over Jimmy Rivera. Yeah, Andrea Lee picking up a win. Nick Lentz picking up a win. Andre Fili against Miles Jury kicking off the main card. Pretty evenly matched fight. Andre Fili picking up a unanimous decision. Looking pretty good, getting back on the swing of things and the momentum that he's been looking for a while, I think.
Yeah, I mean it was a back and forth. I think it was tied, right? Going to that third round?
Yeah, it was a pretty even fight.
Yeah.
It was. But Andre Fili edging it out, busting up Miles Jury a little bit, and it was interesting. I liked Andre Fili's post-fight interview. It seemed, he's really taking it. I think he was kind of losing a little love for the sport going through those tough losses. So Vicente Luque and Brian Barberena picking up a win. Probably I think was fight of the night or performance of the night. Vicente Luque picking up a late finish, like literally like 5 seconds left in the fight, and finishing Barberena off, and it was a back and forth brawl. I think that was probably is definitely one of the most exciting fights of the night. Kron Gracie defeating Alex Caceres. Kron making his UFC debut. Had a couple of fights already. I think about 4 maybe or something like that.
Yeah.
Making it look easy against Alex Caceres. Kind of like a mini version of Damian Maia. Just going in there, holding his own on the feet for a little bit, getting the takedown, and bam, that was it. That was all she wrote, man.
I mean, when your dad is Rickson Gracie, I think there's a lot of pressure of you doing well, especially training with him and growing up in that house. It kind of reminds you of the Hart, Bret Hart's household and the dungeon. It kind of gives you that kind of vibe. But Kron Gracie is man.
He looked good.
Beast.
He looked good.
And his post interview was I think it was really entertaining.
Yeah.
Saying that, if you're going to F with him, he's going to choke you out or paraphrasing it, but
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a killer, man. He made it look pretty easy.
Yeah.
Caceres looked like an amateur.
He looked good, man. I didn't expect him to go in there and make it look so easy. I knew he was dangerous, but he went in there, took him down, and choked him out.
Like we hear this all the time, but there's levels in this game. But he's a world champion black belt. Yeah.
And you see it. I mean, obviously he's gonna have a hard time when he fights guys that are a little bit more well-rounded. I mean, Caceres, not that Caceres isn't, but guys with a little bit of wrestling in their game. More dynamic striking, like a Max Holloway. He's gonna run into a tough go with the guys in that high up.
Yeah, he's just focused on the striking because his jiu-jitsu is pretty much
it's there. Yeah. And I think that what makes him so tough to fight is that he's comfortable on the feet, or he's getting more comfortable on the feet, and he's not afraid to get taken down. But the thing is, if he ends up on his back, what is he like? Is he the type to kind of just have you in his guard?
He's probably like a defensive guard.
I would hope so. Those are the more exciting ones, the when they're constantly working for something. But some of the times, the jiu-jitsu guys, they're so stuck in the jiu-jitsu game, the mode, that they're okay with just keeping the person in their guard. But you lose on points when you do that. So then after Kron Gracie and Alex Caceres, you had Cynthia Calvillo picking up a win over Courtney Casey. Cynthia Calvillo looking pretty good, getting a win, much needed win. I know she was out for a little while off of a marijuana suspension. I think
she's with Team Alpha Male, isn't it?
Yeah, I think she's a Team Alpha Male, right? I think she is.
I'm pretty sure she is. Yeah.
I think a fight with her and Tatiana Suarez is kind of in the near future. Their names are linked, and I think it was brought up. I don't remember if she brought it up in the post fight. I don't think so. I don't remember her post fight interview. But yeah, that's next something that I think will be a matchup in the future for those two, and I think it'll be pretty exciting. I think that'll be a really, really good fight. Paul Felder defeating James Vick, picking up a much needed win back at lightweight. Looking pretty good, Paul Felder, right?
Yeah, I mean he's I don't know. I kind of wish that I don't know how to put this, but he's such a good analyst.
Yeah.
Like, I wish he just do that full time then fight.
I wish too, man. I'm like, I do too.
But I think he went to the hospital.
Yeah, he had a collapsed lung at the end of the third.
God, that's freaking crazy.
Yeah, so he can't fly out. I think he was actually supposed to commentate the next card in Russia, but he can't. He can't make it.
Yeah, but that was one hell of a fight.
That was a great fight and a much needed win by Felder.
I root for the guy so much, man. Like he's like a really cool guy.
He is. I think he's one of the best analysts in the UFC right now. I think but
it's his personality shines. Like he's a really likable guy.
Yeah, he is.
And he's almost like a Rocky in there because it's like a 50-50 with him. I'm always rooting for the guy, so I'm happy to see him win, but it's unfortunate what happened after.
Because he's pretty good all around, but he's not good at any one thing. So he's one of those guys that will just go in there and he'll get into a little bit of a brawl sometimes. Yeah, he went up to welterweight, lost against Mike Perry, breaks his hand or whatever, comes back down, defeats James Vick, and looks pretty good doing it. Again, picks up an injury. He'll probably be out to probably the end of the year, maybe. Yeah. And getting a much needed win. So again, every time I watch the guy, I wish he would just stop fighting. Not that he's he can't do it, but because we grown to get accustomed to seeing him on the mic.
He came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and just being so good on the mic, it's just dude, this is your career, man.
I love when he does commentary.
But
him and Anik have great chemistry.
They do. Felder and with that other guy,
that other guy,
that younger Mike Goldberg.
That's the guy I was talking about. Not Anik, but the otother guy. The other guy. Yeah,
he looks good. I think Paul Felder is a great commentator. I was watching the one who impresses me so much is still Dominic Cruz.
Yeah,
there was a post fight show at the end of the night, and it was Anik, Dominic Cruz, and Brett Okamoto.
Yeah,
who, I know he's another media member, and he seems like a nice guy, Brett Okamoto, but I haven't really been impressed with his interview skills when he's interviewing people. I feel like, I mean, maybe it's throwing shade in some way, but I watch a lot of people, and I watch a lot of their interview styles, and some people are just boring, and Brett Okamoto he's almost there. He's not he doesn't act, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Have you seen some of his interviews? You see his sit down with Israel and all that?
Yeah, and he does a lot with Dana, but that's only because Dana refuses to do anything with Ariel.
But when he does sit down interviews sometimes, or he does a one-on-one interview with somebody, I don't know. It just seems like he's missing something. But I thought there's something not there. The types of questions that he asks or the way he asks them, it's I get where he's going, but I think it's just, I don't know what it is. But I look at those things, and then I watched them last night, or whatever the night was, Sunday night. No, it was last night. Sunday night.
2 nights ago.
What's it? Tuesday. With him and Dominic Cruz, and I thought like it was probably the best I've ever seen. What's it called? Akamoto break down anything.
Yeah.
Like I not that he's never done good before, but I thought he did really well, pairing up almost as good as Dominic Cruz, and just all three of them. John Anik. It was just like it's probably one of the best post fight breakdown situations I've seen on TV in a long time.
I think the last Bellator, I think he was sitting right next to me, and I didn't realize at the end
because he's so kind of quiet.
Yeah,
he's quiet.
I heard some guy popping his bubble gum, and I turned around and said, "Oh my god, it's Brett Okamoto."
Yeah. He's so quiet. He has the same. He has like his whole style.
Yeah,
like this short sleeve.
Yeah,
like dress shirt.
Yeah, but I remember that. I didn't realize he was sitting next to me. I was just so.
But you know, again, props to Brett Okamoto, props to Dominic Cruz, John Anik. That whole post fight thing, it was just like expert analysis, breakdowns. I thought it was like one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. But Dominic Cruz is probably still one of my favorite breakdown. He's so intelligent and so like he and the guy's probably one of the best out there.
Yeah.
And then the main event, and then we go to the main event, and then we go to Francis Ngannou against Cain Velasquez. ESPN 1. And I don't know if you remember UFC on Fox 1.
Yeah, we were there.
We were there. It was almost the same thing. Almost the same situation. Right?
Yeah, that in like exactly the same time, 26 seconds.
Yes.
He shouldn't be doing ones anymore. He should be doing 2s or 3s.
And obviously we're talking about Cain because you guys all know the outcome now. Francis Ngannou knocking out or defeating Cain Velasquez in 1 round and 26 seconds. And it was a bummer. I would say that.
Yeah, I was bummed. I was so bummed because like one, I was looking forward for Cain. I think that division needs Cain. I think I missed Cain, and I was excited for him not only to be back in the UFC, but go back to me potentially a title run.
Yeah.
So I was so pumped up, and then that happened. I mean, I knew that's something that was maybe a possibility. He has his curse when it comes to network television, but his knee buckled. I mean, he got punched, and I think he got punched. I don't buy the whole knee buckle because the video replay kind of shows him getting hit, but he gets knocked out, and I was really bummed out.
I was bummed out too.
I didn't like. Usually, I stay and watch the post fight. I was so freaking bummed. I didn't watch anything.
Yeah,
I haven't since.
I think the only thing I watched was the actual like the breakdown with Dominic Cruz and all that. That's the only thing I watched out of pretty much everything. I watched a little bit, like maybe a few minutes of Cain's.
Yeah, I watched. I watched that too.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that, but that's about it, really. Yeah, I was bummed. I like normally I try to be kind of like just we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see Cain do well. He is out for 2 years. He's finally healthy. He was back. He looked good. But the entire week, I'm telling you, we didn't get a chance to break it down. But the entire week, I felt like he was probably going to lose.
He's not looking shape.
Okay. I'll get to that too. Yeah, he
has a dead body.
I just felt like I don't know something. He looked good. He looked great. Like and the whole lead up, and I don't know. I knew he had the skills to and the style to beat him, but I was like I just see him. You know what I saw? I was like I think he's because he's I don't know, something about me was like I think he's not gonna respect Ngannou. I think I felt like he was not gonna play it smart. I felt like he was gonna go forward and try to bob and weave real quick and throw some punches and try to set up a takedown and like I felt like he was just gonna go in there and probably get clipped. You remember like I even watched him against Cheick Kongo. Remember he got dropped a few times in that fight, but he was that was his prime.
Yeah.
And he bounced right back up. But I felt like it was gonna go not because it was like Cain versus another big black guy, but because it was Cain against another similar style of fighter, which I think Ngannou is like a better version, a more powerful version of like a Cheick Kongo, a scarier version of like a Cheick Kongo.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't see that happening again. I see Cain beating Ngannou the second time around.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what Cain. Like,
I do.
He does that. He loses a fight, and then he learns from his mistakes, and then he was off for 2 years, and that's not making an excuse,
I
but
know.
that
I just saw that. I saw it going the exact same way it happened. I really did. I was like, I felt like he was a favorite, and I still would have bet money on him. But I felt like it would probably go that way. And I know it's like you say it like after the fact, and it really doesn't matter count as much. But I really did the whole week. I was like, I just feel like he's gonna lose.
yeah, there was moments where I had doubt in Velasquez because of the layoff, and because I know when it comes to strikers, he kind of presses forward.
He presses forward,
and he doesn't cover
and
up.
You can't press forward against Ngannou.
Yeah.
He does really good back and forth.
Because even when they're against the cage, kind of dirty boxing, that takedown was really sloppy. Like he didn't cover up at all. He went for like a street fight almost.
And then
he paid the price.
Yeah, he paid the price, and I felt like
I was frustrated by the end too.
Yeah, and I felt like he could get back up against when you get dropped by Czech Congo, but you're 36 now against Ngannou. You're not going to get back up like if you get clipped like that, and that's exactly what happened. So, and I don't buy his excuse of which I don't blame him at that time if he wants to say that's what he felt like happened, because he got rocked and he doesn't remember it. That was like, I'm sure he barely watched the footage.
A lot of times when you're in that moment, I'm sure with all the drilling, he probably didn't feel the punch. But watching the replay, you clearly see him get punched.
Clearly see him get punched. His legs go out, and then he winces.
And then his knee pops after the math.
And who knows how much damage his knee was, because I heard he was walking around fine.
Yeah, that can just be a drilling too. But it sucks, and I'm sure when he says things like it was the knee, not Ngannou.
Yeah,
I think he truly believes it. I think in the fight he felt that. But I think if he watches the fight again,
if he watches it again,
Ngannou French him, because he's not one to make excuses.
No.
So I think by now he probably realized
he probably watched it now
that it was a punch, and it sucks because it kind of discredits Francis Ngannou in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
I think he should, and it leaves a cloud over that fight.
Kind of, yeah, because if people, I think
because
now
you got hardcore fans, like hardcore Velasquez fans, who they want to believe what they want to believe, and no matter what, kind of like Eddie Bravo, like you show him evidence, and he's still gonna believe that.
Yeah,
whatever. So I think that's the same way with his fans, and when you hear Cain saying that, and then you see Velasquez's knee go out, people are gonna believe it.
Yeah, regardless.
But I think it's kind of unfortunate for that reason, for the cloud over that fight, and it discredits Ngannou. But I think that a second fight should happen. Maybe not right away, but there has to be a rematch for sure.
I think, I feel bad. I feel bad for Cain too. Coming off, a lot of momentum, a lot of pressure, a lot of anticipation, having to fall short again. It's embarrassing.
And he always fails in his hometown, whether it be Mexico, his home nation, or whether it be his home state.
Well, you go to Mexico, he loses. You go to LA, where there's a lot of Mexicans. He loses. And you go to his hometown in Arizona, where he loses.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know if the pressure gets to the guy.
I think so. As much as people say that he's strong-willed and he has a strong head, I think he falls under pressure.
I think he does too. I think
he puts a lot of pressure, telling himself that he has to win this fight.
But then he picked up a win against Brock in Anaheim. I mean, it's like...
But it's Brock.
It's Brock. Yeah, that's true.
That fight was fairy to him.
Yeah, it was disappointing. He looked like shit, by the way. Like he looked 36, if not more. Like he looked older. He looked old.
Yeah, he did. I think once he gets in the game and he's consistent, I think it's going to change.
It's going to change.
But who knows with Cain? It's like a big question mark.
But he didn't look that bad. Like in the open workouts and all that, he didn't look that bad, huh? He looked good.
No, he looked good.
Even in the weigh-ins, he looked good. But when you go into the cage, I was like, God damn, Cain,
it's like he
do you go
partied
outdoors
all night and he ate like 5 steaks.
Yeah, I was like, do you go outdoors ever? Because he needed a tan. He needed a tan.
Yeah. The whole things with Cain it's unfortunate, but I mean, I think the eye-opening statement that he said was that if you can't, because someone asked him how long he's gonna be out for. And he said that if he doesn't see himself getting better or being able to shake off these injuries, then he's not gonna fight. If he thinks that he's not able to be his best, then he's just gonna retire.
What I would like to see him do is fight at least 2 more times this year. One time, maybe even earlier than that, 3 times.
I think him and Derek Lewis. No, I don't know.
Yeah. I say him.
Lewis, right?
I say him, Derek Lewis, Overeem, Arlovsky, Volkov, any of those. Just get momentum again. You know,
confidence.
I'm sure you weren't hurt that much. You could give yourself a month off, get right back in training, fight sometime in May, fight again in September, fight again in December. And I think he can do it. And any one of all 3 or 4 of those guys, I think I favor him.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, on the other side of the coin with Ngannou, I mean, that heavyweight division
I think it's Stipe. That's it. Rematch.
No, yeah, and I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, Stipe. I mean, is Ngannou, I don't know, would Ngannou take the fight? I think he has to. But that division is like, it's almost like, it's the same thing what 155 is going through, and what it's in limbo because DC was going to retire and he wants that Brock fight,
which he'll probably get.
That John Jones fight is lingering over him. You know, like when you have the champion getting ready to exit, it kind of leaves that division in limbo. It's whatever DC wants, not whatever makes sense.
Yeah, I think
you're right. I think it should be Stipe.
I think it should be Stipe.
And Stipe wants that DC rematch, but I don't think he's going to get it.
No.
So I think those 2 guys fight, and then the winner gets the heavyweight championship fight next.
Yeah. Yeah, I say the same thing. I think Cain could at least, if as long as he's healthy, which I think he is, I think he'll fight at least 3 times this year. Get back into the swing of things. Even if you give yourself 2 more, 3 more years, you can have a good run. Maybe even fight for the title. Maybe even get that Ngannou rematch.
Yeah, I agree.
Ngannou, I don't see anybody else other than either DC or Stipe, and DC is not going to fight him. So
no, DC would just steamroll over him.
Yeah, and who knows? Stipe. I mean, Ngannou at heavyweight or DC at heavyweight. I mean, I didn't like the way he looked against Stipe. I don't see him being able to get inside with Ngannou. I think it's a tougher fight than people make it out to be. Again, like a chubby, bloated DC at heavyweight against like the big, shredded, power punching, quick Ngannou. I think it's a tough fight.
It is. I still favor DC.
I still favor DC too.
But it's not. It's not.
But I don't think it's
not a walk in the park.
Yeah. I don't think it's a walk in the park. No. I don't think at all. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting what happens. Anything else? We got Kevin Gastelum against Israel Adesanya
for the interim
236 interim title. That's a good one. Who do you have?
I got Israel beating Gastelum.
I got Israel too.
I think this interim title fight is what interim title fight should be when the champion can compete. So I'm happy it's finally getting done. I'm wondering, since they only make one belt, is they going to give the interim belt like the old UFC belt?
Yeah.
And then once you become a real champion, then you get the new belt?
They got to make like a side belt.
I think that the old belt should be the interim belts.
Yeah.
And then when you become the champion, you get the new belt.
So that was news just right before we started recording. Yeah, before we started recording.
Yeah.
I favor Israel too. I think his only tough matchup is against Robert Whittaker, and even then, I think he might end up being the favorite in that fight.
Yeah.
I think that's the toughest fight for him in the division. I don't see anybody else really being able to handle him.
And I think Calvin doesn't show up with big fights either.
Yeah, yeah. And also, Calvin's I don't see him being able to close the distance enough to land something significant. I don't. Or you being able to use his wrestling in an effective way. I see Israel being able to pick him apart eventually.
Yeah.
It's not going to be an easy fight for Israel. It's going to be a tough one, but I think I see Israel taking this. So that was that. Nick Diaz announcing his retirement officially, unless they pay him what he feels like he deserves, and that's probably never going to happen. So I just feel bad for Nick. He looks like he's wasting away as just a person, like physically.
Yeah,
he looks horrible.
He looks like his age now.
He looks bad. He looks like.
I mean, when you're like
when you're partying
when
every
they
day.
partying every day and staying up till like late hours of the night, I'm probably snorting coke and doing drugs and drinking.
Yeah,
That's gonna wear on you. That's gonna catch up to you. But
although Nate made an appearance on Sunday.
I'm getting really annoyed with Nate Diaz now.
I know.
I'm sick of it, that guy.
Just fight already, man. Just
Yeah, he's a little. I don't know. I'm so annoyed.
like how I don't know, man. It's wasted talent. It's just, It's just wasted talent,
like,
man.
I won't need where they get their money from.
I don't either. I don't know.
They're not getting paid. I don't know. It's
just wasted talent, man. All the good years that they just lost.
He's a little like copycatter to his brother. His brother does. He wants to do like the exact same thing.
I know. I don't know, man. It's sad. All right, and before we go, let's break down this weekend's card. It's UFC on ESPN 3, Blachowicz versus Santos. This one's on ESPN Plus, I believe. This is gonna be at least a good main card. You have John Dodson versus Petr Yan, which is a great fight. That's gonna be a fantastic fight, actually. Mm-hmm. Petr Yan is a fantastic striker. So was John Dodson. You have Liz Carmouche coming back against Lucia Podilova. Gian Vellante fighting Michael Olejnik. I guess that's a tough last name. Marcos Rogerio fighting the returning Stefan Struve. And in the main event, Jan Blachowicz versus Thiago Santos. Let's just go with the main event. Jan Blachowicz versus Thiago Santos. This is finally Thiago's moment to just call for a number one contender title shot.
Yeah, I go Thiago.
I go Thiago too. I think I see him steamrolling Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah, same here.
This is this 185? No, it's 205, huh?
Yeah.
Or is this Blachowicz dropping down to? Because Thiago's been at middleweight,
right?
And Jan's at 205. Or is he dropping down to 185 on this fight?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think so too, huh? We could be wrong. Either way, Thiago's up there. They're both up there, and I think Thiago, if he wanted to make a move to light heavyweight, or if I know he's at middleweight right now. The guy's like on a roll, and the guy's a beast, and I see him. People, the middleweight division is kind of like looking like shit. But you got Thiago Santos, you got Israel Adesanya, you got Paulo Costa.
Totally, like all the older fighters kind of fading out.
Yeah, Paulo Costa, Yo Romero. You got some beasts up there. Mm-hmm. So Thiago Santos is one of those beasts. So looking forward to that. ESPN 3. Check it out this weekend. We'll break down the aftermath next week. Until then, go to MMAComplex.com and get everything at MMA Complex.
Yeah, you can buy a shirt there too. And you can follow us on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram under the MMA Complex. Great fight night next weekend. We'll be sure to break it down for y'all. So until then, enjoy the fights. Enjoy your week.